to the public hearing on behalf of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. My name is Chris Ayler. I am the designated hearing officer for these proceedings. The role of the hearing officer is limited to ensuring an orderly hearing so that an accurate record of this hearing may be developed for the department's evaluation. I do not participate in any decisions regarding the proposed permit actions. On behalf of the department, we appreciate your participation in tonight's hearing for the proposed issuance of air permits for prevention of significant deterioration, also known as PSD, to ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC, located at 1 Steel Drive, Calvert, Alabama, 36513. The purpose of this hearing is to provide the public with an opportunity to present oral testimony on the proposed permits. In addition to the oral testimony as described in the notice for this hearing, the department will consider all written comments submitted before the close of the public comment period. The department has requested your comments, and we appreciate your taking the time to make them known to us. On April 17, 2025, notice of the date, time, place, and purpose of this hearing was posted on the department's website. In addition, on May 1st, 2025, the department sent notice of this hearing by email to individuals and organizations who had previously requested advance notice of permit proceedings. A copy of the notice and the email distribution list will be entered into the record of these proceedings. On May 16, 2025, the department extended the public comment period for this permit action to May 30th, 2025. Copies of the public notice, permit application, and draft permits have been made available for inspection by the public at the office of the department at 1400 Coliseum Boulevard in Montgomery, as well as the department's website. The hearing is open to the public, and anyone wishing to present oral testimony or submit a written statement may do so. All testimony and written comments should be as factual as possible and should address the subject of this hearing. Lengthy statements or those containing considerable technical or other complex data should be submitted in writing. Summaries of such statements may be presented orally. This hearing is an opportunity for members of the public to offer comments to help ensure that all relevant factors are considered before a final permit decision is made. Please be advised that the department is limited to the factors it can consider when making a permitting decision and must base the determinations only on whether the permit applicant has satisfied the requirements of applicable environmental statutes and regulations as granted to ADEM by the legislature. Persons giving testimony may be questioned by the hearing officer or other department staff to clarify points and to develop a better understanding of what is being presented. This proceeding tonight is not an open forum as in a question and answer session. This hearing is an opportunity for you to submit comments that you wish the department to consider in the final review of the permit application. However, you may pose a comment in the form of a question which will be compiled and addressed by the department in its complete response to comments. In addition to oral testimony, written comments may be submitted on the proposed permits. You do not have to make an oral statement tonight in order to have your written comments considered by the department. Written statements may be submitted to the hearing officer tonight or delivered to the department in Montgomery, as directed in the public notice for this hearing. All written statements previously submitted and those received by the department before the end of the public comment period will be included in the hearing record. It is important to note that written comments submitted through postal or electronic mail are given the same consideration as those that are presented in person at this hearing. All oral and written testimony will be included in the hearing record. After giving full consideration to the hearing record, the department will make its final decision on the proposed permit action and develop responses to comments for the proposed permits. The hearing record, final permit determination, and responses to comments will be posted to the department's e-file system. This hearing is being captured by a court reporter to develop a transcript of this hearing for review by the department. In addition, the entire proceeding is being recorded on video and will be posted to the department's YouTube channel to make it accessible to the public. Now, let us move on to the purpose of this hearing, the receipt of public comments. The order of appearance of persons giving testimony will be as follows. First, a representative of the department's air division, then a representative of ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC, then any elected officials or their representative who have registered to speak. All remaining members of the public will be heard in the order in which they registered. I will now recognize Mr. Jackson Rogers to present a statement on behalf of the department's air division.
Good evening. My name is Jackson Rogers, and I'm a permit writer with the Air Division of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. I'm here to present a statement on behalf of the department concerning the proposed issuance of air permit numbers 503-1 or 0157-X001, X002, X003, X004, X005, X006, X007, X008, X009 to ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC. The department exercises authority under the Alabama Air Pollution Control Act and the Alabama Environmental Management Act to administer and enforce Alabama's air pollution control regulations. The department also has the authority to implement federal air pollution control regulations. ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC is proposing to construct a new non-oriented electrical steel or NOES mill to be located adjacent to the AM&S Calvert LLC steel mill in Calvert, Alabama. The proposed new sources of air pollution at the NOES mill would include an annealing and pickling line, APL, with 93.65 MMBtu per hour natural gas-fired continuous annealing furnace, shot blasting and descaling operations with a bag house, and hydrochloric acid pickling and associated storage tanks with a wet scrubber, an acid regeneration plant, ARP, with iron oxide removal and storage with a dust collector, an acid regeneration process with a wet scrubber, and an associated tank farm with a wet scrubber. 2 45.5 MMBtu per hour natural gas-fired boilers, 2 cold rolling mills with mist eliminators, 2 annealing and coating lines, ACL1 and ACL2, each with an alkaline degreasing and cleaning section with a mist eliminator, an electric annealing furnace with hydrogen purge flares, and a coating line consisting of a rolled coating station and natural gas-fired curing ovens controlled by a regenerative thermal oxidizer, 4 cooling towers, and 2 emergency diesel engines. Certain proposed sources would be subject to new source performance standards, NSPS, and national emission standards for hazardous air pollutants, NESHAP. These regulations were developed by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and are uniformly applicable across the country. The proposed sources are also subject to a review under Prevention of Significant Deterioration, or PSD, section of the New Source Review NSR regulations. The department administers these regulations in Alabama. These regulations would limit emissions resulting from the pickling of steel using hydrochloric acid, the application of coatings containing volatile organic compounds, the combustion of natural gas, and the operation of stationary internal combustion engines. The control devices that have been proposed for installation at the facility would be capable of meeting or exceeding all federal and state requirements. Based upon our review of the air permit application for this facility, the department has proposed the issuance of 9 air permits, each developed in accordance with applicable state and federal requirements. The department has made a preliminary determination that compliance by ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC with the conditions of the proposed air permits will not result in violations of applicable air quality standards designed to protect human health and the environment. The preliminary determination will be reconsidered after all comments are received and reviewed. Thank you.
I will now recognize Mr. Stan Edger, General Manager of the proposed mill, to present a statement on behalf of ArcelorMittal Calvert LLC.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Stan Edger. I am the General Manager of the ArcelorMittal Calvert's new non-grain oriented electrical steel NOES project. I am joined by members of our project team, Venkatesh Ramaswamy and Jackie Gorski. On behalf of our team, I would like to express our gratitude to the Alabama Department of Environmental Management for organizing this public hearing, for the opportunity to provide comments, and to any members of the local community for their interest and support. ArcelorMittal Calvert is excited to announce the construction of a state-of-the-art NOES manufacturing facility in Alabama, and we support a favorable issuance of the air permit at the conclusion of the comment period. This new facility will be capable of producing up to 130,000 metric tons of NOES annually, supporting industries that are crucial to our nation's economy, including automotive and mobility, renewable electricity production, and other specialized industrial and commercial applications. I'd like to take this opportunity to provide a few details about ArcelorMittal Calvert. ArcelorMittal Calvert is a wholly owned subsidiary of ArcelorMittal, one of the world's leading steel and mining companies with a presence in 60 countries and primary steelmaking facilities in 15 countries. ArcelorMittal also operates as the managing arm of ADEM Calvert, a joint venture between ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel. The new NOES manufacturing facility will be strategically located near this state-of-the-art steel plant, which comprises a river terminal, hot strip mill, cold rolling mill, hot dip galvanizing lines, rail yard, supporting infrastructure, and a new electric arc furnace that is nearing completion. The project is a significant step towards reducing U.S. dependency on electrical steel imports by expanding domestic production. NOES has been identified as a critical material for producing electric motors used in battery electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, and a broad range of energy technologies and applications. The production of NOES requires specialized technical expertise, advanced manufacturing capabilities, and rigorous quality control to meet stringent specifications for magnetic and mechanical performance. Construction of the facility is set to begin in the second half of 2025, with production anticipated to begin in 2027. The project is expected to create up to 1,300 jobs during the construction phase and more than 200 permanent positions to support the plant's ongoing operations. This investment not only strengthens Alabama's position as a key player in the steel industry, but also paves the way for innovation in electric motors and renewable energy technology. We appreciate the support this project has received from Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, Secretary of Commerce Ellen McNair, the Mobile County Commission, and the Mobile Chamber. Their support advances our mission and contributes to economic growth in South Alabama region. ArcelorMittal Calvert is committed to creating a resilient, sustainable domestic supply chain for critical material. Our new plant will enhance our capacity to support other manufacturers, our customers, by providing a steady domestic supply of high-quality NOES, enabling them to produce superior products and avoid material shortages, extended lead times, and cost volatility associated with overseas supply chains. The facility will include an annealing pickling line, cold roll mill, annealing coating line, packaging and slitter line, and additional ancillary equipment needed for specialized electrical steel manufacturing processes. ArcelorMittal is dedicated to the local communities that surround our operations. AMNS Calvert has invested over $1.5 million in the past 5 years through our AMNS Calvert grant program, which supports STEM education and environmental awareness with key nonprofit organizations. We are also proud of our workforce development programs, investing in high school curriculum, apprenticeships, last chance scholarships, and summer internships. We have submitted a complete application for PSD air permitting associated with our new NOES project. This includes and satisfies all currently applicable rules and regulations. In closing, ArcelorMittal Calvert takes our commitment to the protection of the environment very seriously. We have demonstrated this through the design and engineering phases by avoiding wetlands, using the best control technologies, ensuring robust design of pollution control equipment, and many other initiatives to ensure our compliant operations. Protection of the water resources, the Tombigbee River, and air quality in South Alabama is a goal we share with all our stakeholders. We appreciate the opportunity to provide these comments and look forward to obtaining the final permit through ADEM. Thank you.
We will now proceed to the receipt of comments from members of the public. As indicated in the public notice for this hearing, oral testimony for each registered speaker is limited to 7 minutes, and we will continue the hearing until all persons who wish to speak have completed their oral arguments. Oral comments. If anyone has prepared a statement that cannot be presented in a 7-minute time frame, please use your time for oral testimony to summarize your comments and submit your full statement to the department in writing for placement in the record. First, I recognize Ramsey Sprague. Please step up to the microphone and clearly restate your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent. Please speak clearly into the microphone to ensure an accurate record of your testimony can be recorded. Please also remember that this is not a question and answer session.
You did a great job with the name. Good evening, hearing officers, ADEM staff, ArcelorMittal representatives. My name is Ramsey Sprague. I'm the president of the Mobile Environmental Justice Action Coalition, aka MEJAC. I'm here to testify on behalf of MEJAC's board and our organization and members. As ADEM explains in the draft PSD permit, the proposed new mill would produce coils and sheets and other forms of electrical steel strips for customers in various industries, particularly the automotive industry, as we just heard very thoroughly. Thank you for that background information. It's very interesting. MEJAC has several concerns about the proposed permit, and I will highlight 3 of them tonight. But first, let me thank ADEM officials for extending the public comment period for this proposed permit. Challenges with the rollout of any new notification system are understandable, and we appreciate the additional 9 days to be able to review and develop comments on the proposed permit and the voluminous record for this facility. Our first concern is in regards to ADEM's proposal to consider the existing mill and the proposed new mill as the same source for PSD and Title V operating permit purposes. We agree with ADEM's proposal to consider the 2 mills as one source. However, we are concerned that ADEM has not reflected this determination in the permit provisos. Notably, the proposed PSD permits for the new mill do not contain permit provisos that indicate that the new mill must be considered part of the same stationary source as the existing mill. And similarly, ADEM has not proposed modifications to the existing construction permits for the existing mill which would then be included in the Title V permit for the existing mill. So in order to ensure that ADEM, EPA, and the public have authority to enforce this good single source determination, ADEM needs to include this determination in the proposed PSD permits as well as the permits for the existing mill. Our second concern is related to ADEM's analysis around the facility's hydrochloric acid emissions. ADEM's analysis explains how by the annealing and pickling line, the APL would have that, how by the APL would have the potential to emit greater than 10 tons per year of hydrochloric acid. The proposed mill would be a major source of hazardous air pollutants by definition. We are concerned that these new air toxic emissions and their impact on the adjacent community and workers, as EPA describes, hydrochloric acid is corrosive to the eyes, skin, mucous membranes. Chronic long-term exposure through occupational exposure to hydrochloric acid has been reported to cause gastritis, chronic bronchitis, dermatitis, and photosensitization in workers. And prolonged exposure to low concentrations may cause dental discoloration and erosion. Those are all verbatim from EPA. AM's permit application identifies that the new mill would be subject to and comply with 40 CFR 63 subpart CCC NESHAP for steel pickling, HCl processes, facilities, and hydrochloric acid regeneration plants. However, ADEM's analysis disagrees with the applicant and indicates that the new mill would, quote, not clearly be subject to this particular air toxic regulation. But ADEM's analysis does not explain this difference in opinion. So ADEM's final action must explain that. Moreover, ADEM's PSD permit for the APL purports to create a synthetic minor emission limit for the hydrochloric acid emissions, but the synthetic minor limit does not appear to have been requested by the applicant. Furthermore, ADEM's analysis and proposed permit do not rely on the authority EPA approved for creating synthetic air emission limits. So ADEM must revise and clarify all of this in the final action. Our third concern is about permit provisos that as they relate to dust. The permit applicant, that application identifies a very massive and impressive construction program. This will undoubtedly involve earth moving, truck traffic, and vehicles traveling across the property on unpaved roads, and these activities will cause dust and particulate matter to be released into the air and potentially impact workers and neighboring properties. And because of this, ADEM must include site-specific provisos in the PSD permit for control of dust. For example, the PSD permit could include methods to control dust from unpaved roads, posting signs to restrict vehicle speed, etc. ADEM's PSD permit must also contain monitoring, record keeping, and reporting requirements for transparency and enforceability around all these provisos. So to reiterate, we will provide more details on these and other concerns in our written public comment to be submitted before the comment deadline, and we are appreciative of the scheduling of this public hearing and for the opportunity to testify tonight. So thank you.
At this time, we do not have any additional registered speakers. We're going to take a break until a registered speaker arrives. And then if there are no additional registered speakers, we'll return promptly at 7:05 p.m. To adjourn this meeting. Please be advised that unless otherwise notified, the public comment period will end at 5 p.m. Friday, May 30th, 2025. All comments must be received at the office of the department in Montgomery by that time. After consideration of all oral and written comments, the department will make its determination regarding the proposed permits and prepare responses to all relevant comments received. Thank you for your participation this evening. This hearing is adjourned.